Hey guys, my name is John and this tutorial is on how to export something for the web via Photoshop. So let's get into it. Alright, you've created this beautiful shirt mock-up, which by the way, if you need shirts, shout out to my friend real quick, Selfless Promotion, Stephanie, who runs an amazing Etsy store. You'll get some great t-shirts at a low price. Check her out. And this tutorial is actually for her. So, the way you get this mock-up on the web, real simple. Now, you may have been taught back in the day, I don't know, maybe this is even the first time you've ever seen this. So you go to image size, and you change all your dimensions here to how you want it because, 3600 is kind of large for pixels or whatever. I wouldn't bother with that. Keep this at the highest resolution that you made it at, right? Because what if you wanted to create little handouts with this image on it for whatever reason? You probably wouldn't, but let's just keep it at the actual size because what if we want to come back and edit it later? We want it at full resolution. So the best way to export this for web is actually to go to File, Export, Save for Web. Here we go. Now, when you hit Save for Web, it is automatically going to change this to RGB. RGB is going to be the color mode that web works in. And you'll see down here, RGB. Right down here, we got the R, the G, the B. That's red, green, blue. So there we go. We're good. Now, I've got mine on 2 up. You could do it on 4, optimize, original, whatever. And you say, well, what is that? All right. I do recommend at least doing 2 up. So what this does is this shows you the quality of the original image versus the quality of what you're trying to reduce it to. So this is at 1.6 megabytes, right? This is at 25. Sorry, not megabytes, megs. 25. This one's at 1.6, okay? So it needs to be a little lower than that. We need to get into the kilobytes if we're putting this on the web. Mine kind of defaults to this because it's usually around where I put it, but we can crank it down a little lower. You say, well, what happens if you crank it down all the way? Look, we're getting pretty close, right? But if you'll notice, if we do it that low, you start to get all these weird, like, distortions and gross stuff in the image, if you can kind of see it. So we don't want to crank the quality down too much because we want to be able to promote this in its, best quality, right? But we also need to save space. So let's crank that back up. Here's what we do. Here's our problem right here, our width. This image does not need to be 3600. So let's crank this down to about 1000. Even that's kind of large, but for the sake of the tutorial, you could probably get away with about 800, to be honest. There we go, we're looking good. That's looking a lot better. We can zoom in and make sure we're not losing like crazy quality. You say, well, it's real pixelated, but yeah, you're not going to zoom in that much. You're going to see it at about this size when you're on the web. And I think that's good. If you want it a little bigger, that's kind of up to you. You kind of have to play with it a little bit. 140 kilobytes, that's a lot better in my opinion. Your photos will load faster, especially on the phone. Really important. So all you have to do after there, you want to make sure that JPEG is selected. You probably don't, if you're uploading this to like something like Etsy, you probably don't want to hit PNG. However, if you're a web developer and you're trying to make like header images, I know a lot of web developers say they prefer the PNG 24, but that will be a different topic. So there we are, no blur. We'll keep the matte at white, optimize, looking good. When we export this, it's going to convert it to RGB, which is what we want. We are looking great. We'll hit save. We'll save it out to something called This Is My Awesome Shirt. We'll hit save. I've already got one named that, so I'm going to hit replace. Totally fine. There you are. And that concludes the tutorial. It's that simple. If you're wanting to create a mock-up so you just show people on the web, that's it. Thanks.